All right, guys, we've got a great match coming up here. And I think no matter who comes out with a victory, it's going to make for a great round of 4.
I almost can't believe that it's going to be herO versus Dark in the final match to advance from Group B. One of these players is getting knocked out here in the round of 8. One of them is going to advance to fight Cure in the semifinals next week on Saturday. We already had Creator advance from this group, so 2 Protoss, or not 2 Protoss, 2 Terran, 1 Protoss, and 1 player
Protoss.
TBD. It might be 2 Protoss by the end of this one. I gotta say, herO was looking really good in that PBZ, and I think the mind games here are going to be kind of crazy because for a very long time, I mean, herO and Dark are both 2 players that battled it out in pretty much every single online cup. ESL Open Cups, they'll play a ton of them. The KSL, they'll play a ton of them. Any kind of online tournament for a prize, these guys are fighting, and they're usually meeting in the finals of these things. So they have been inside each other's brains for what feels like months, if not years, with how many games they played against each other. The mind games in this series should be off the charts. One of these players going to advance into the finals, herO or Dark. Let's decide who it's going to be.
Let's get ready to rumble, rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. You looking for trouble? Let's get ready to rumble, rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Tell them it's going down now. Let's
Okay, herO in the top right, Dark in the bottom left.
And for herO also to play that series against DRG and effectively use the same build twice, it's kind of good here against Dark that he's not going to be really playing his hand, you know?
Yeah, well, I think herO, this is like when you have someone who is, you know, worthy of a GSL win, is they have to approach opponents in a tournament where everything's public. Dark, you are my hero. Dark is my hero.
These guys are best friends.
Guys,
Go
you guys,
sit next to each
oh
other.
my God, it's like you guys wear the same dress to prom. This is crazy. The same sign. Meanwhile, I feel like I'm trying to prove to the audience I can read any sign with 5 words in it. Like,
look at this online. 199 games for herO, 151 for Dark. I was not kidding. These guys play in like every single online cup against each other. It is insane. That is a crazy amount of games. That's even beyond what I thought. 350 games
I saw
online.
that number and I'm like, that's too much. We shouldn't show that number.
350 games?
Yeah.
My God. That is so much StarCraft just in tournaments, just online.
It's crazy. Well, this is what happens when you have a game that's out for this long. You know, RTS games, they do age like a fine wine. Like if you go back and watch the first season of GSL, and you just see it's like monkeys banging rocks together trying to get build orders out.
You watching at home could also have been a GSL champion if you had a time machine.
No, I've literally thought about this. This is how much of a nerd I am. I'm like, sometimes I'll be watching like old like StarCraft 2 or StarCraft 1 matches, and I'm like, I could have just, if I went back in time, I could have like won everything and then switched right into casting. I would have been like the undisputed best. I would have won like, you know, the first 4 seasons and then just switched with all my caster abilities to be like, oh, this guy's just like the greatest at everything.
We'd be talking about, why is Tasteless -- 2 on the GOAT list instead of Mario?
Yeah, that's right.
What?
What's going on? How could you count Tasteless? If he wasn't so good at casting, he would have just kept winning.
By the way, the build coming in from herO, pretty cool. Already mixing things up. He went for the gas first instead of the gate gas. And so his Stargate actually about 3 seconds ahead.
So I was going to say something before we had that funny moment where there's 2 of the same signs in the audience. Like,
yeah.
So I think that herO approaches this in a way that is truly worthy of a player that can win at GSL. Not getting the block off, by the way. He basically did a very specific generic style versus DRG. I think we might see some alterations here versus Dark.
Already he's mixing it up basically to the maximum. I missed it early on because we were talking about something that probably wasn't important, like the signs.
Yeah.
I think that was core before Nexus for herO because the probe was able to drop the pylon
I think so, yeah.
to block the hatchery at the 3rd of Zerg. And the Adept is there to make sure that the pylon does not get denied. And so Dark already getting some wrenches kind of thrown into his machine early on. herO's pulling out all the stops. The gas first, the core before Nexus. Not even allowed the Shade to finish. Yeah, he does. Only 4 Zerglings, 4 more in production, so he's going to get at least a couple of drones. These 4 Lings alone cannot handle it. Oh, the Queens, I guess they can. There might be at least 1 more drone going down. I like this move from herO. But he's going for a lot of unexpected plays, and Dark even a little bit lazy. Gets the third
What?
drone.
Okay. Void Ray coming, which always signals a third Nexus.
Yeah, third Nexus.
6 drones have been killed.
Yeah, the Oracle came in,
That's
too.
a little bit shocking.
I'm telling you, herO's pulling out all the stops. Plus that Void Ray going to be able to assist that the third Nexus now. Nexus dropping a little bit later than usual. Closer to the 4-minute mark than 3:30, so herO is going to be a touch behind in terms of economic pace, but the fact that he was able to trade out 2 Adepts and some Oracle HP for 6 drones this early on, plus denying the third base, making Dark build it at the 9 o'clock instead of right there at the triangle third where he wants it to be. Very good stuff coming out from herO. He has a worker lead because of it. I love how much he is mixing it up. This is the kind of thing, oh, this Oracle, you got to be careful. You know, if that triangle third base did not get denied, that Oracle probably dies right there to the Queen.
Yeah,
It probably
would
gets zoned
have
out.
flown into some kind of interference and been picked off. We've got the gateways down here, as well as the Citadel about to be planted. Let's see if maybe he does get the Adept upgrade. Maybe we actually just have the same style again, literally.
It's possible.
I was kind of declaring to everybody that he won't do that, and there's going to be some kind of a, like, here's the real build, but maybe not. Okay, so he does go for Blink.
Goes for Blink. But I
All
wouldn't
right.
even mind him going for the Adept build here against Dark because
Yeah,
it
well,
just wouldn't be something you expect him to do in the third game.
yeah, it's almost like it so does it make sense that it works because the other player just discounts it.
Kind of the same way they did it in game number 2 versus DRG, where it's like DRG's like, surely you won't do that again. I'll just play Ling Bane. Almost preempting the Blink Stalkers, and instead it was just Glaives.
This is going to be the herO that we're used to seeing. It's going to be Blink Stalker. Uh-oh. Nicely done.
Oh, careful that Oracle!
Hold on. Okay.
Oh, he was microing here. Only going to get a couple of drones, though. I don't think that's really worth losing the Oracle, but you can really tell that herO's just trying to throw as many curveballs at Dark as possible in this moment. These guys know each other so well from their online play that you see herO take these risks and go for these plays that he probably wouldn't go for against a lot of other Zergs because he's just trying to mix it up so much. You play 300+ matches against somebody.
It's so
Just
crazy.
in tournaments, just online.
Yeah.
You start to get a little bit crazy.
Okay, so we have the 5th base coming down here. herO's getting his 4th. And I think, I mean, we don't have any, like, gateway walls like we've had in some games. I think some of that's map dependent, but we might coming up here.
Yeah, and
sometimes he'll do, like, on his 4th base, like 3 gateways or, you know, however many it takes to fit. Kind of wall off that whole area.
Yeah, and Dark up until this point has just been playing on hatchery tech, going for +1 melee and a ton of lings. So he's basically throwing down the 5th base almost as a macro hatchery. He's only at 54 drones. He's playing this mass ling style right now against herO, and that should scale quite well against the Blink Stalkers that herO's trying to go for. He does not know there's 70 lings on the map. This could be bad if herO overextends with these lings. Dark wants him to do it. I mean, even with Oracles, these Stalkers could potentially go down to 70 lings. All right, here comes Dark. That's a lot more lings than herO's expecting. He's going to blink away once. Oracle's now coming in to assist. More Stalkers coming to reinforce, so they're able to skirt disaster.
Okay, Stasis Ward 1 is denied. The other one is actually triggered.
+1 melee is done for those lings, so they do pack
Yeah.
a bit of a punch. And
Yeah, they can if they can corner those stalkers, they will wreck them.
yeah, and herO, in response to this mass ling style, he's going for Ro.8. But Dark, even though he delayed his lair for so long, he already finished his Infestation Pit.
Yeah.
He's going in a hive now at 7 minutes, 50 seconds
Oh.
after having, like, what, a 6-minute lair?
Okay, he's going to try to break in here. There's going to be some more lings to go for this Robo. You know, I'm sorry, there are 2 Robos or 1?
I think it's just the one here in the
So
front, if I'm not
that's
mistaken.
a really big catch. I mean, that's basically all of the late game tech here for Protoss.
If herO throws down 2 more Robos, I'm going to be worried about him. And no, he instead is going for the Fleet Beacon. I like this a lot. If he had gone for the Robos, that would basically play into Dark's hand, going for this super fast hive tech, which is going to be probably mass Adrenal Lings with Vipers, which would absolutely destroy any kind of Robo-bait timing. But with herO instead getting a Fleet Beacon, getting +1 air weapons, he's going to be playing a little bit more of a late game.
Yeah, he's just going to go for carriers here, which I think Zerg do have a really hard time against. If the, you know, it's kind of puts the Zerg in a position where they have to like do something. They don't just get to play turtle.
Yeah, But I'm a little bit worried with this Ling count ballooning as high as it is. Still 70 Lings on the map, even after trading out with those Zealots and Oracles. Once +2 and Adrenal finishes for Dark, it's going to be a pretty crazy amount of Lings. I mean, they're going to be able to level bases that are unprotected in the blink of an eye if herO is not careful. And it's actually going to be Ultra. This is almost just playing like a ZVT build.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Oh, this is so cool.
9-minute Ultras here.
This looks like herO playing ZVT against Mara right now is what this looks like.
But,
oh, what a cool style.
But for now, I mean, the gold base is being taken. We've got a mothership coming out.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
No doubt more carriers behind this.
But Tasteless, I'm thinking about the way this is going to go. There isn't going to be much anti-air here for Dark at all. But is it going to matter? Because I feel like there's going to be so much sustain in terms of hit points on the ground with the Lings and the Ultras for Dark that if Dark just decides to dive these expansions, oh God. Well, that's 5 probes gone. That could have been much worse.
Yeah.
That Nexus also, I don't think got canceled. It got killed.
Yeah.
But bear with me here. If Dark just decides to max out with Ultras in like 120 Lings, he might just be able to dive on these expansions and kill them faster than the carriers can clean them up.
Yeah, you might be right. The Lings make it a little bit harder to deal with because each one has to be targeted individually, right? That's why splash damage is so important against Zerglings. He's going to run in the main. He's going to see what's going on there. There's a lot more Lings hitting everywhere right now.
Oh, the Mothership's going to finish just in the nick of time to cloak these buildings in the main base, but more probes falling here at the 4th. Zealots did eventually clean that up. And once these 2 Ultras finish, oh, Dark's coming in again.
I mean, Dark has really got herO on his back foot right now. I mean, this is kind of crazy how much damage is coming out.
I mean, I was telling you earlier, these kind of Lings with +2 and with Adrenal, they level bases so quickly. So much static defense is getting taken out. Even the Cybernetics core falling here for herO. Oh, okay, so many more Lings.
Dude, when does this end, by the way?
Like, I think it
feels like herO gets tripped up like once, and now Dark is just finding opportunities endlessly.
There is a world where herO is able to max and stabilize on Sky Toss, and Dark just does not have an answer for it, which we might be getting to now that herO is maxed, or very close to it. But the counterattacks here, this is basically Dark's MO, is just keep counterattacking. Oh, he gets the Templar before they can even morph into the Archon there in the natural expansion. But keep in mind, Dark is a little bit on the clock in terms of how he's going to deal with this Protoss army. There still is really no anti-air besides the Queens. It's just Lings and Ultras coming out for Dark. He just has to keep attacking into the Protoss. Oh, even burrowing here in the natural expansion, just causing problems everywhere he can. And now this 4th base is going to get hit. The Skytoss fleet is coming in. Cloak probably going to pop, I hope. Although instead the Lings are just going to try and run away.
Dude, this just is never ending. Now up to 23 kills.
I mean, the big issue here for herO is that, like, cannons don't even really deal with this that well because they get leveled by the Lings so quickly. There are no shield upgrades, I think, here for Protoss, so...
Oh my gosh, he's going to have to tag that area. And meanwhile, oh my god, he's going to kill even more.
I mean, the counterattacks
I'm not saying the game's going to end right
crazy
here, but it's hard just to envision a situation where, like, you know, herO recovers and pushes out and kills a Zerg. It feels like we're so far away from that.
I can't believe it didn't cloak.
I know.
I mean, there is a world where herO is able to amass a fleet of carriers and move across the map and just kill Dark. And I think herO recognizes that he can't just stay on his side of the map and absorb blows like this. He has to make a move. Because if he lets Dark just continue to counterattack like this, it's basically game over. But the problem is with these Ultras, the Archons alone just do not do enough. I mean, maybe they do when it's just 4 Ultras fighting into a choke point like this because Ultras are the worst at.
Yeah, in a true, like, Zerg harass fashion, he just keeps hitting all these different locations. This Nexus can't even be remade. This is like 3 base versus Zerg having almost the entire side of the map.
herO's on 16 probes. He has to go. He just has to go.
Yeah.
The anti-air for Dark is basically, I think, neural parasite infestors and queens.
Yeah.
I think that's effectively what he has to deal with.
He's going back.
I mean, it's such a tough position here.
Just keep counterattacking. Oh yeah, he's like, finish what I started.
Honestly, this base falling, it doesn't really matter even here for herO. He's at 16 probes. He is all in.
He can't even mine fully from each of these bases. All right, well, this counterattack should be held. It would be the craziest thing that's ever happened in the history of the universe if it was not held.
I think Dark's win condition right now is not even to try and survive against this counter push. It's to win in a base trade.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Here against herO.
There are no other structures hidden on the map, by the way.
So I wonder how much of the Sky Toss is going back to defend. Does herO realize the situation? Oh, look at this. Infestor is casting this ability. Oh, with Fungal here on the Interceptors too,
Oh
pairing
my
with
God.
the Queens. This is kind of insane.
Yeah, maybe you can just chain Fungal the Interceptors? I don't know. He's going to go right under these
Oh, the Shroud
carriers.
coming in. How often do we see this?
I know, this is crazy.
Microbial Shroud actually getting used to really stunning effect here. Now the Mothership with the Stalkers is able to mitigate some of the damage here. You got to activate Overcharge. Okay, he does it the natural. Hopefully there's Cloak here as well. There's no Cloak needed here with Battery Overcharge. And the Shroud, I mean, the Queens are standing against the carriers with just their Carapace. This is insane. I've never seen Queens with Microbial Shroud win in a situation like this against 5 carriers.
Yeah.
I mean, this is basically the win condition here for herO because there's no anti-air for Dark, but Dark says it doesn't matter. I have Queens. I have 10 Queens. I'm building 5 more at a time.
Meanwhile, barely anything functioning back at home. He would need to win the game with these 5 carriers right now, and I don't think it's going to happen.
This is insane.
It's just
I
a
thought there
bunch
was no world Dark was going to be able to hold with just Queens and Infestors, but with Microbial Shroud and Fungal paired
Oh
up.
my God, that's going to be a GG. Dark takes game 1.
What an insane late game PvZ.
You know, it's
from
funny.
Dark.
It's like there's one crack in the defense, and suddenly everything starts to spill through. The game completely blew up in herO's space. Again, nothing really premeditated by Dark. He just saw an opening and went, oh, okay, and ran in, and then just every follow-up attack took him down another peg until eventually herO literally had not even a functioning economy. Like, what, 16 probes?
We're talking about mind games, and herO certainly brought them there in the early game, but what a build selection from Dark. He went for the lair, I think, at like the 5:30 or 6-minute mark on that map.
Yeah, it's funny, too, because we were talking about Ultralisks, and it's like, well, they can't hit air. I mean,
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, because they also can't clean up the ground in time either.
All right, there's just enough HP on the ground and enough DPS that herO can't make static defense, and if he doesn't stabilize, Dark just wins the base trade game.
Right.
What an absolutely wild game number 1. Dark is now 1 map win from advancing to the semifinals. herO 1 map loss away from getting knocked out. He's got to fight for his life here on Site Delta. Let's go into game number 2.
Let's get ready to rumble, rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. You looking for trouble? Let's get ready to rumble, rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Tell them it's going down now. Let's
All right, herO for Weibo Gaming. Spawning in the bottom right is the blue Protoss. Dark for Talon. Spawning in the top
Dark
left.
esports, different from light esports. Like, this is...
That game 1 is going to be hard to follow for these guys. That
Well,
was
we-
insane.
that was a one-of-a-kind game. I mean, again, it just shows that Dark, he's kind of playing a standard game, and then there's some mistake that's happening, and he just comes in there and slashes herO down. I've never really seen herO get beaten up on like that in PvZ.
Yeah, that was a very peculiar build. It's one that, I mean, we occasionally see stuff like that sometimes, but not really in the Korean ZVP meta.
Right.
Certainly not at the pro level. It's something you might see in like mid-GM, this like really fast Adrenal plus 2 links flood, but the fact that Dark was able to make it work against herO was so cool. I mean, there were so many games that I believe it was Serald who brought it out in the finals against Mario at ESL SG Masters, where he went for this really fast Ultralisk build and was just able to ride the Ultra's armor through the mid game when Terran basically just has Marines and get huge value done. And Dark effectively did the same build here against herO. Of course, it's a little bit different here in ZVP, but the end goal is the same. He got +2 melee links with Adrenal and Ultras out so quick, was able to play the base trade game. And herO just never stabilized. He had such a hard time stabilizing, and he did get derailed a little bit, losing the Robo like that to the Lings early on, but honestly, Tasteless, even if the Robo had finished with the Robo Bay, and he goes for Colossus, do you really want that in a situation where Dark went for, what was it, like a 9-minute hive? 8-minute hive? Something crazy like that. I mean, the Vipers would be so quick, and you know Dark would have gone into the Vipers had Ro.8 units come out there for herO. Just a very interesting game number 1. I would love to go back into that replay and just break it down. I mean,
just a little subtle thing I want to point out in PVCs, because we've had a couple of them today so far. I feel like you should just store your Robotech at your natural, not at the third. Like that punish changed the trajectory of the whole game. No, I'm not saying the carriers wouldn't have been made, but it was like he had no other choice after that.
He got set too far back.
Yeah. And, I mean, you know, the third base, especially on that map, is always going to be hit for counterattacks. Like, that's kind of the you know, the weak point for that position. And so the fact that he just hits it over and over again, it's like, well, yeah, you're putting – it's already bad enough you have workers there, right? That they're so vulnerable. Then they're going to see this nice, juicy tech as the workers flee.
Still just a really wild PvZ from start to finish. I love the tricks that herO came up with there in the early game, and then the way Dark's build developed in the mid game, even though he was basically on a worker deficit compared to herO for a good portion of that, was just so cool. It's such a treat to have these guys battle it out for the last spot in the semifinals, because you know they're going to give everything they have in this matchup to win this best of 3. It's only a best of 3, but there is so much on the line.
So we're going to have this drone transfer. Slow game to start this out. Oracles again, kind of in line with our whole theme today. Void Ray, a very quick third Nexus before the Void Ray's even out to cover it.
A little bit faster than it was there in the previous game, but of course herO is going for a different build. And
right.
Dark, once again, just on point with a clean positioning so far today. I feel like the Oracles have really gotten big damage only once against Dark so far. Now 3 more gateways coming in. And an Adept getting warped in, Tasteless. This might be the same build that he used against DRG. I wonder if this is going to be Glaives or just 6 Adepts paired with the Oracles. I feel like with a Void, it's probably going to be Glaives because he's trying to deny the scouting. Have to wait and see. Yeah, Glaives get started.
This is more than you normally expect from a Void Ray.
Yeah, 2 Overlord kills is quite nice.
Yeah, so there's those Glaives upgrade. Let's remember that we did see Dark actually lose to timings from Creator too, which is kind of remarkable. So maybe he's going to be a little bit squishier in this game than others.
Oh, he's going for Banelings quite early here against the Glaives.
Ooh, now this does shut down Glaives.
Yeah, I mean, DRG attempted this previously against the Glaives, but was not able to pull it off. Dark is doing it in a much better fashion so far. His drone count is higher in the stage in the game where it will pay off. And I feel like the +1 might even be a little bit faster here for Dark. I'm not sure if it's going to finish in time to make a big difference in the initial fight, but should Dark be able to survive the first wave, that +1 is going to help the Lings trade very much so against these Adepts. And here come the 13 Adepts again. 10 seconds left on Glaives. This is really herO's window to get damage done. No Banelings, I don't think, have morphed in just yet. And only now is Dark realizing the severity of the situation. He has 40 Lings, a good number of Queens. Adepts are actually just going to shade right on top of these Queens. Oh, one of them so close to getting focused down.
Oh my god, the surround is pretty good. He's going to thin out a little bit. He might have to cancel up here.
Wait, where are those Banelings morphing in? Okay, the Adept shade gets canceled. Instead he goes to the third base. That's really smart. I think Dark was actually morphing in. Banelings getting ready to absorb the impact there between the natural and the main base.
Yeah, there's no way he can go there. He's going to have to get pushed out.
herO's doing a really good job of controlling against these Banelings, just avoiding them. And Dark, I think he's just caught a little bit with his pants down against this because he didn't have the Banelings ready in time. And as a result, herO's just been kind of able to pull him apart. It doesn't seem like substantial damage, but it really is. Dark is right now at 50 drones, the 62 workers of herO, who is continuing to build behind this with Blink, with +1 coming in. Adepts do not get canceled, instead going for the fourth base. Oh, the Banelings coming into the third.
I don't think he's looking. I don't think he's watching.
Oh, huge hit.
Yeah, 9 kills. Now the hatchery goes down. That's big as well. But at the same time, so do all the Adepts.
Yeah, I don't know if that trade is worth it after losing all of those probes. The worker count's basically equalized.
And the counter punch is inbound here.
Yeah, and it's only Stalkers now left for herO. He traded out all of those Adepts, which means there isn't much to deal with the Lings. Oh, this might be a little bit too much. The one Stalker here in the wall in.
It barely plugs that wall in up.
Oh, if they take on the shield battery, I don't know how herO's going to be able to hold on.
Well, the walling is pretty good.
It's scary, though, with only one
Oh, never mind.
Oracle.
He's going to take out the pylon at the entrance.
Yeah, he's trying to whittle that down, but there's not enough surface area here on the Ling. Start continuing the attack. He's still at 49 drones. He's committing so much. The Banelings pop that pylon. Floodgates have opened in. herO made one more Oracle to try and stem the tide here.
Yeah, and reminiscent of game one, it's kind of the same concept. He's already out-positioned herO. Now herO's trying to scramble to just put out all these fires. More Lings are going to come in here and continue to punish.
But herO's doing a really good job of stabilizing so far. It's kind of miraculous how well he's defending against this. It felt like Dark had so much momentum behind him after cleaning up all of those Adepts, but instead herO, he does lose 18 probes, but it's not game-ending damage. The word count's dead even right now between herO and Dark.
Okay, another Ling run by. Oh, he's going to pull back. Good blink in here. herO's starting to stabilize. Worker count is basically even, by the way.
Yeah, herO sustained a lot of damage, but it's playable from here. The worker counts are basically even. Somehow, after all of that pressure with the Adepts and then the counterpunch coming in with the Ling Bailing, we've equalized here. I think herO's going to be very happy flying these Oracles out of the fourth base and seeing basically no drones. It should confirm his intuition that there isn't much economy here for Dark on the map. And Dark now going into Ling, Bane, Hydra on 58 drones. No more drones in production, so this will be a timing attack. herO has to be very careful not to overcommit into this.
Okay, the push is going to come out. He's got to be very careful with how he executes this. The Hydras are going to make it a lot more complicated to get any real damage out here. He's going to lay a stasis ward back. The Stalker count seems like it just might be enough, and the surface area for the Hydras and the Queens is just, just out of range. Oh my God, that was so perfectly executed by herO. I cannot believe it. Dude, hold on a second. Is he going to start to win with this push?
He might be. There isn't that much DPS left here for Dark. Okay, more Hydras reinforcing, but if the Lings go down, there might not be enough to tank for them. Should the Stalkers just connect straight on with the Hydras? With Blink, you're able to trade them out really effectively here as Protoss. But stasis running out means that herO will have to back off. Oh, loses one Oracle, almost loses the second one too. I don't know if he can full send this.
Yeah,
it's getting really close.
He might have to walk it back. He is going to double down, though. He's got a pylon just in range over here.
Another stasis trap. Warping in there in the back. That Oracle has to be so careful not to get picked off by these +1 range Hydras.
You can see the tactics kind of pan out here as the stasis ward is just planted back so that as the Baneling would have connected, instead gets trapped inside of that. But there's more Lings being made. I mean, the Hydra count isn't actually getting that much lower. Stalker counts are getting higher and higher. A couple of Zealots are going to join in here. These Lings are about to no longer be frozen.
The Zealots, despite not having that many upgrades, are still really good here against the Lings. The fact they're able to two-shot them instead of 3 helps a lot with that +1. And the Stalker count starting to get really large here, Tasteless.
It's a bit like it's kind of like an arm wrestling match almost. Like it seems like it's so close. I think over time, if the Stalker count gets any higher, and we don't see a bunch of Stalkers picked off here, these Hydras are going to get whittled down.
Yeah, the main issue for Dark right now is he just doesn't have enough HP in the front of this army. Once the Lings fall, then the Hydras sustain too much damage, and just with the Hydras, you're not able to really kill the Stalkers. They will blink back.
Yeah, the Banelings are just making it so that the Stalkers can't blink right into this. Instead, he has to do defensive blinks. But yeah, you can see over time this sort of chews away at the hit points. He's going to tear down these rocks. He might have wanted to do this earlier because he needs a bigger berth to try to enter into here.
Yeah, the Stalker count's gotten high enough that it makes sense to try to expand the concave here attacking into this fourth base. More stasis traps getting planted. Oracle's gaining an energy. With a big blink back coming in from herO, and Dark's army just continuously gets shaved down.
Okay, the Zealots are going to come in here to tank.
Oh, no more
This
Banelings
could
left.
be the tipping point.
Oh,
he blinks
boy.
in, but there's some Banes. Was that an overextension? No, I don't think so. I think herO's actually done it.
Maybe. The drone's getting pulled or absorbing a lot of the DPS. They're providing the front line here for the Hydras. That means the Stalkers do have to warp in all the way to the back. Oh, the stasis is huge. It catches so much of Dark's army. 4 Hydras and a ton of Lings getting picked off. If Dark had that army here fighting in, I think herO might have been pushed back, but instead he can blink forward, Tasteless.
Yeah, some more Zealots are going to be warped in here. The Hydra count is so low, these units are about to be unfrozen.
Dark probably going to re-engage as soon as these units pop out of stasis, and I feel like herO might have lost a little bit too much momentum.
Oh my God, the drones actually did their job. they just soaked enough damage that it allowed Dark to try to fight back.
Yeah, and at this stage, herO, that natural expansion, the main base, they're starting to run out of minerals. It's really only the third base that's mining effectively, whereas Dark has this fourth over at the 12 o'clock position.
Yeah, God, it was so close. I really thought herO was going to take it.
I think the blink forward was just a little bit too ambitious.
Yeah,
he was so close, but the Banelings,
Yeah.
they finished morphing at the exact right time to stop that push.
Okay, he's going to blink away again.
Although Stutter Step Micro has to be really good here for herO. Those Lings, they get the full surround right now.
Oh my God, so many Stalkers are falling.
Dark is so close to the semifinals, and
He's
here
gonna-
the favorite to advance from Group D might fall in a 2-0 here in the final match.
He's going to cut him off at the pass. More kills on these Stalkers. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know that herO can recover from this.
Only 10 Stalkers left. He's re-expanding to the fourth, but Dark, he can just continue to pump the gas. There isn't going to be an answer for herO to the Ling Hydra for a very long time. The Robo only just now finished. The Robo Bait only just now started. Colossus Tech maybe a minute and a half out. I don't know if herO can survive until that stage. Tastes, he's at 13 army supply. Dark is continuing to barrel down, and once he sets his eyes on this fourth base, that might be the end of herO.
I mean, this counter push is going to be so powerful. Again, it's like herO's basically stuck on Stalkers now, and he doesn't seem like he can ever quite get enough. He certainly won't be catching up now that he's lost this fourth base. Just as it finishes, by the way, no cancel. It's funny, sometimes Stalkers you can get just enough that they can never stop you, they can never overcome it, but sometimes you're just low enough that you can never catch up.
And this amount of speed Banelings coming in with a Ling Hydra should be enough to take herO out of this game. Dark wants to go to the semifinals. The Robo goes down. The Stalkers are falling.
Wow.
GG is called, and Dark
GG.
is going to the top four in a group of upsets. Creator and Dark advance, and the favorite herO is knocked out in the final match.
It was a great match. I mean, it's funny, I was literally calling it for herO during the fight. I think you nailed it back there, State, with the blinking in just as Banelings finish. I think about 5 Stalkers took damage. It really is a moment where you're like doing this balancing act of having maybe one or two Stalkers too many for the Zerg to deal with. And I think he pulled the trigger on kind of getting the closer a little bit too fast.
It was unlucky a little bit for herO because there was this timing where he saw the same thing that we saw on screen. There were no Banelings, it was just Hydras, there was a small number of Lings, and herO just had a small swell of Zealots coming in, so he should have had enough front line to blink forward and win the game outright, but because Dark had those Banelings morph in just in the nick of time, instead, herO got completely denied with that blink, and it was the end of him.
Yeah. I mean, that took it. I gotta say, man, kind of crazy herO didn't advance. But instead, we've got Creator for the Protosses moving forward. Dark, again, this guy is always, I think, a fair bet for someone who could take a GSL. So let's see what happens, man. Of course, we've got MaRo, who's, you know, if you followed any GSL or any StarCraft 2, you know this guy is, you know, done something that no one's ever going to get close to, basically, in the history of StarCraft 2, winning so many GSLs.
Man, Dark coming in for another top 4 right after getting top 4 at ESLS 2 Masters in Dallas is just so good. I mean, the fact that this guy is a newborn and he's dominating StarCraft 2, absolute legend. Well, congratulations, Dark, on advancing into the round of 4. You know, last season, Dark, we didn't have any Zerg that deep in the tournament, and this tournament, you're the last one alive. You made it all the way to the semifinals. How are you feeling? Well, honestly, all the games today were very tough. And after Creator was able to take me out, I knew that I was going to play against herO in that final match. So, in the back of my mind, I almost gave up on this season, but in the very end, I was able to collect myself and gather my thoughts, and I decided I would do my best against herO, and I had nothing to lose, and I played my heart out. I won. Well, in that match against herO,
현우랑 할 때 약간 개념이
He went for some pretty crazy timing attacks, but you were really able to leverage the power of the Zergling to victory both in Game 1 and Game 2.
잘 통한 것 같습니다.
그래서 이제 박살이라는 개념에 대해서 물어보고
Well, you know,
싶은 건데
after I lost the first series against Creator, I felt like my concept of ZVP was almost broken, and so up against here, I just decided to wing it and try something new, and it worked.
강영호 선수 그거 좀 알고 있었나요? 알고 있는데도 당한 건가요?
아, 진짜 너무너무 잘 알고 있었고요. 평소에 레더 할 때
Well, it felt like herO didn't actually have that many tricks up his sleeve besides there in game number 1. He went to Adepts again there in game 2 against on Dark, and Dark says, yeah, honestly, that build has been pretty popular recently on the Korean ladder, so I felt like I had an answer to that opening, and I was able to execute it. Unfortunately, it didn't go as well as I was hoping, but I was still able to close it out. Well, in the semifinals, your opponent is not going to be Maru, it's actually going to be Cure. How are you feeling? Well, it feels okay. I mean, compared to Cure, I think, or compared to Maru, excuse me, I think Cure is a little bit of an easier opponent, but he's still one of the best Terran players in the world. And I would have prepared my best to try and beat him. Well, Dark, do you have any words to your fans? What is your goal going into the semifinals? Well, you know, I heard that a lot of fans in the studio were cheering for me after my match, so I wanted to show them some good games, and I know a lot of fans also want to take photos and get an autograph. I promise you, I'll be here all night if you want an autograph, if you want a photo. I thank you guys so much for supporting me. They're asking now about his determinations for the finals. Well, he says, you know what? I am going to put everything I can into that finals. And he might, did he even say he's going to shave his beard? Or not shave his beard? There's something about the beard. He might shave it.
Wait, production was, you going to shave the beard?
That is insane. Oh, right, because he's going to the army. Right. That's right. That's why he's going to
You guys are only hearing half of our conversation.
Sorry, yeah,
our producer's saying that you can't have a beard in the army.
Yeah, for a second I thought he was going to do it.
Why can't you have a beard? Wait a minute.
In the U.S., it's like joining the New York Yankees, man. You got to be clean shaven. You got to get the haircut.
Why could you not have a beard in the army? How would
all that discipline? You gotta. It's some way for getting deep on this. You gotta.
But that's not true in the U.S. in the military, right? You can have a beard.
I don't know if that is still true. I think when you enlist, you lose the facial hair. I'm not sure if this is still true.
Huh.
I think you got to get the haircut, the facial hair, or at least it used to be that way. And I think part of it is you need to kind of lose your identity. These are things that people build their identity with, and they want to break it down. Anyway, Dark is going to shave.
Let's go back to the beard. This is not. Hey, quit messing around, State. We're talking about something important, all right? You're getting sidetracked.
The finals! Tickets go on sale tomorrow.
Yes.
5:30 p.m. They will sell out within 10 minutes, guaranteed. Do not miss it.
No, 5 minutes.
5
guaranteed,
minutes.
All right? No, 4 minutes.
3 minutes.
No. Quit messing around, all right? You're doing that thing again.
It's like a Key and Peele sketch. But yeah, honestly, guys, 5:30 p.m. refresh.
It's at the S-Plex Center. So that's not this studio. This also is like a thing that happens every finals. Is people are like, I'm in Jomshil, I can't find you guys. I'm in Samsung, and I'm like, no, we're not there.
And don't be that guy.
A part of town called Digital Media City. No, it's not another city outside of Seoul. It's just a place in Seoul, but it's called Digital Media City.
It's all the way in the northwest of Seoul. You can find the venue right there on screen.
There is a pop-up kind of StarCraft museum, as well as an esports museum in the building. Check it out. Show up early. Have a whole StarCraft day.
Yeah, the doors open at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
I would recommend getting there at least an hour early if you want to check out the museum on, what is it, the 11th floor?
It's the 11th floor.
And by the way, if you guys missed us talking about this in the pre-show, it is a pretty cool museum. They're actually, it's not just photos and like memorabilia. They're actually borrowing historic jerseys and trophies from players all across Korea.
Yes.
Maybe even across some of Asia. I'm not sure exactly the scale of it, but you know, Maru's trophies are going to be there. Some of his ancient jerseys might be there.
That's right.
You might get a waft of Maru's sweat from 10 years ago, and it might be able to propel you into being this StarCraft 2 gamer. Who knows? Who knows what magic all that memorabilia stores inside of it, but make sure you go. And on top of that, also, we're doing that cheer event.
Yeah, definitely sign up for that. That's what we were talking about right there at the bottom of the screen. So do check that out. Yeah, I'm excited for another finals, man.
It's going to be really fun, especially in this bigger stage. I mean, I love this venue, but anytime, as you said it multiple times before, when we move the GSL finals to a bigger stage, it just feels more dramatic.
It just, I don't know.
It's
I mean,
cool. I like
even
the change of
even for
scenery.
us, I'm like, cool. We're in like a new place doing finals, and I think Africa TV Soup, excuse me, puts on an amazing finals. It's going to take me a while to get used to that.
A little bit of something for everybody, too. We got 2 Terrans, a Protoss, and a Zerg.
You have no excuse to not be there.
Creator surprising as well, coming out
Yeah.
first place
What
today.
if he
Looked
wins?
fantastic.
What if this is the run?
That would be so cool.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us. We love you. We will see you on Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, and tickets go on sale at 5:30 p.m., right?
Yeah, 5:30.
All right,
See you
bye-bye.
guys.
Incoming transmission.